ngayong araw na ito at sana po pakibigay po sa amin yung brief summary at very brief lang po, Congressman Barzaga. Maraming salamat po. Congressman Barzaga, maraming salamat po.
Let me start my interpellation, and the summary shall be given once the issue would again be touched in my interpellation. Unang-una, for clarification, na-suspend ang hearing natin kagabi sapagkat pinag-uusapan na sana ang ABS Holdings Corporation. Unfortunately, walang resource person ang ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation. Kaya ngayong araw na to, ipagpapatuloy ko ang aking interpellation sa ABS Holdings Corporation at gusto ko lang malaman kung meron ng resource person para sagutin ang paglilinaw sa ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation.
Mr. Chairman, we have on Zoom 3 resource persons for ABS Holdings Corporation. Mr. Benedict Togonon, Tax Counsel, Ms. Kaimol, Milani Kaimol, the auditor or internal auditor, and Ms. Josephine Abarca from SGV Accounting Standards Group.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
sapagkat ngayon pa lamang ang ito pa lamang ang unang pagkakataon na sila ay harap sa ating pagpupulong, iminumungkahi ko na sila, katulad ng ating mga resource persons, ay isailalim sa isang panunumpa.
Yes, Honorable Barzaga. May we know if there are other guests who are here for the first time, Comsec? Yes, can you put it on record? Are there other guests, Comsec, that are new to this? Oh, okay.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, we have. May we request the guests here in the plenary and those in Zoom to take their oath, and we direct the committee secretary to administer the oath. So ordered.
May I ask the resource person from the ABS-CBN Holdings and from Ms. Catherine Lopez to please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before these joint congressional inquiries to help you God? Thank you.
Thank you, Comsec. Thank you to our guest here and in the Zoom. The Honorable Barzaga may continue.
Mr. Chairman, sa ating pagpupulong rito, napakaraming financial statements at dokumento na binigay ang ABS Corporation pati na ang kanyang subsidiaries and other companies. Kaya ang una kong tanong, yung bang financial statements na binigay dito sa committee, katulad ng ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation, is there anyone who can certify na yung mga dokumentong niyon ay authentic, accurate, and true?
ABS-CBN.
For holdings, we have Ms. Kaimol who can. She's on Zoom.
So the authentication is being asked on ABS Holdings documents. Yes, may we request the representative to kindly reply to the query of the Honorable Barzaga.
Good afternoon, Your Honors. I'm Lani Kaimol for ABS-CBN Holdings. To answer your question po, the financial statements and other documents that were submitted to your office are authenticated po.
Marami pong salamat, Honorable Barzaga.
At para maiwasan ang issue ng confidentiality ng tax records ng isang corporation, I would like ABS-CBN Holdings, kung katulad ng ABS-CBN Corporation, wine-waive nila ang confidentiality ng kanilang tax records.
Opo, Your Honor.
Yes, wait. Are we asking BIR or ABS-CBN Holdings?
ABS-CBN Holdings, ito po ang sinumulan ko kagabi,
Yes, Your
pero
Honor.
hindi natin na ipagpatuloy sapagkat ang sabi ng mga resource persons ng ABS-CBN, walang sino man silang representative na pwedeng sumagot sa ABS-CBN Holdings Company.
So hindi na po ang BIR o ano pa pang ahensya?
Well, the BIR definitely would be necessary
Yes.
for confirmation ng tax payments and tax records ng ABS-CBN Holdings Company.
So may we ask the Associate Commissioner Cabantac?
Later on, Mr. Chairman, pag
Okay,
ako na
go ahead.
nagtatanong. Okay. Unang-una, sa ABS-CBN Holdings Company, 3 corporation ang ating pag-uusapan base sa aking paglilinaw. We have the shares of stocks of ABS-CBN Corporation, shares of stocks of Lopez Incorporated, and of course, ABS Holdings Company. Just for the record, tama ba na sabihin na itong 3 korporasyon na to, ABS-CBN Holdings, Lopez Incorporated, at pati na ABS Holding Corporation, ang lahat ng controlling stockholders or majority stockholders would be the Lopez family? Sisi natin, Mr. Chairman, ABS-CBN Corporation, totoo ba? The controlling interest is the Lopez family.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Susunod naman natin, ABS-CBN Holdings Company, Corporation. We have the corporate secretary, my good friend, Attorney Kiason.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And what about Lopez Incorporated? Totoo ba na ang controlling stockholder ng Lopez Incorporated ay ang Lopez family? From
Mr. Chairman, Lopez Inc. is controlled by 4 family corporations or belonging to the Lopez families, different branches.
Okay. So, ang Lopez family is controlled by 4 family corporations coming from the Lopez family.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. So, sisimulan natin ang istorya ng ABS-CBN Holdings Company. Wartec, what's the official name? The official name is that Wartec Holdings Corporation was organized on March 30, 1999. It has a capitalization of an authorized capital stock of 10,000 pesos.
At that point, Your Honor, yes.
Tama. Nagsimula ang
Hindi po 10,000 pesos, 1,000 lang po. Congressman Barzaga.
1,000. Thank you for the correction. Tama ba? 1,000?
1,000.
And 50% belongs to Lopez Incorporated.
Today, ho, it's 60%.
Ha?
Today, it's 60%.
No. In 1999 pa lang
Yes,
tayo.
Yes, Your Honor.
In 1999, 50% Lopez Incorporated, 10% to Oscar Lopez, 10% to Manuel Lopez, 10% to Presentacion Pinakis,
Sinakis.
10% to Romel Duran, and 10% to Eugenio Lopez III. Tama po ba, Mr. Attorney Kwasi?
That's correct.
Yason, okay. Pagkatapos, pagdating ng September, binago ang pangalan ng Wartec Holdings Corporation at ginawa itong ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation. September 16, 1999. Tama po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And then, after several days, nag-transfer ang Lopez Incorporated ng 132 million shares of stocks ng ABS-CBN.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Oh, that's correct. Thank you very much. At siyempre, nung i-transfer ang shares of stocks ng Lopez Corporation to ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation to the holding company, what was the mode of the transfer? Binigay ba lamang to ng Lopez Incorporated? Binili ng ABS-CBN holding company o inutang?
It was transferred through the stock exchange. The ABS-CBN shares were already listed at the time. And ABS-CBN shares were already listed at that time, and they were transferred by Lopez Inc. to ABS Holdings. And
ABS-CBN
shares were already listed at that time, and they were
were
transferred.
already listed. Eh siyempre, ayan yung aking kaibigan, si Mike Defensor, kahit na to listed, para ma-acquire ng holding company, there must be a transfer. Tama po ba?
Yes, it was transferred.
And so what was the mode of the transfer?
It was transferred to the stock exchange, and there was a liability on the part of ABS Holdings.
Okay, so there was liability on the part of ABS-CBN Holding, or on the part of the holding company, the Lopez Incorporated.
Yes.
And how much was the liability?
I don't. It will be the about 46 pesos.
So binili
Per-
rin ng ABS Holding Company ng 46 pesos per share, and that would total to, I have the figures. Titingnan ko lamang, Mr. Chairman. 46 pesos times 132 million shares, that would be equivalent to 6,072,010,000 pesos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, yes. So itong 6,072,000,000 investment ng ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation representing the ABS-CBN shares.
That's correct, Your Honor. It would appear in the books as an asset of.
Okay. And it
ABS.
was acquired at 46 pesos.
Yes, Your Honor.
At iyon namang liability would be also for the same amount of 6,072,010 pesos.
That's correct. But that was paid when ABS Holdings issued the PDRs to
And that
an
would
offer.
be?
About the same amount, Your Honor.
Okay. So yung bang PDR for 132 million, which was transferred by Lopez Incorporated to the holding company at the price of 6,072,010,000 reflected as a liability in the books of accounts of the holding company.
The liability was already paid. What happened was Lopez Inc. transferred the shares to ABS Holdings. ABS Holdings booked that liability to Lopez Inc. And then ABS Holdings sold PDRs, and the proceeds of those PDRs were used to pay Lopez Inc. and to offset that
Dandan muna
liability.
tayo. I'm a little bit confused. Very basic naman tayo rito eh. The holding company at the very start does not own any shares of ABS-CBN.
That's
Tama po
correct.
ba?
That's correct.
Pagkatapos, later on, the holding company was able to acquire 132 million shares of stocks from shares of stock ng ABS-CBN Corporation.
That's correct.
Yes. At syempre, yung acquisition nila, nakalagay sa kanilang asset, 6,072,010,000 pesos.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Asset. Basic naman bookkeeping. For every asset, there must be the corresponding entry on liability or capital. This, you don't have to be an accountant. Simple bookkeeping. So ano ang ginawang entry ng holding company sa kanilang liability and stockholders equity?
May liability ho ang ABS Holdings to Lopez Inc. of that amount, 6 billion.
Yung ba reflected sa financial statements ng holding company?
It was reflected in the books at that time.
Okay. Next question. Naibenta ba ng holding company yung 132 million shares of stocks?
Hindi po. Ang binenta ho ng company, what ABS-CBN Holdings did was to issue PDRs.
Okay.
over the
To
underwriting.
issue PDRs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Babalik na naman tayo sa dating problema. Yun namang PDRs, alam natin, there is the underlying common shares of stock.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kaya ang susunod kong tanong, Panyero, yung bang 132 million shares of stocks where the corresponding 132 million PDRs were issued?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And it was issued for what amount?
46 pesos.
Ha?
46 pesos.
46 pesos. At base rin sa inyong presentation, whenever a PDR is issued, kung kanino in-issue yung PDR, as long as he is a Filipino citizen, he would be entitled to 1 share of stock, assuming that he exercised the option price.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So madaling sabi, example natin, 132 million shares of stocks nasa Philippine Stocks Exchange. Para maibenta ng holding company, they must have an agent. Tama?
Broker or...
Ha? Or agent or broker, kasi ang ginamit nyo, security agent. Merong broker ang seller.
Gumamit ho ng underwriters ang ABS
Okay,
Holdings
kaya
at
nga
that time.
sinabi nyo, ano ginamit yung underwriter? Security Bank and Trust Company.
Hindi ho, we had other underwriters.
Ano?
At that time, it was Jardine Fleming and ING Barings.
Ha?
Jardine
Okay.
Fleming and ING.
Yun ang inyong broker.
No, it's, underwriters ho.
Underwriter. Halimbawa, kung si Vice Chairman Defensor ang bibili ng 132 million shares na listed sa Philippine Stock Exchange, gagamit din siya ng broker. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir.
That's the practice in trade. So yung 132 million shares, babayaran niya ng 6 billion 72 million 10,000 pesos. Assuming the gross price of 46.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Pag binayaran niya, it should be in the form of cash.
Yes, Your Honor.
At sapagkat ang may-ari ng shares of stock at inabail niya, ang may-ari ng shares of stocks ay ang holding company, the holding company will be the payee.
Pakiulit ko yung question.
Yung shares of stocks, pag-ari na ng holding company. Kaya nga nakalagay, investment in ABS-CBN shares of stock.
If ABS Holdings sells those shares,
Is the?
if ABS Holdings sells those shares,
Yes.
then it will get the proceeds from the...
Hindi nga, kaya nga. Original lang tayo, basic lang naman tayo eh. So, 132 million shares listed sa Philippine stock. Binili ni Vice Chairman using his broker. Sabi ni Mike Defensor, ako na lahat ang bibili niyan sapagkat sa tingin ko, very prosperous ang mag-invest sa ABS-CBN. Binayaran niya ng 6 billion 72 million 10,000 pesos. Of course, itatanong niya, sino ba ang payee?
Ang payee will be ABS Holdings Corporation.
The holding company.
Yes, sir.
The holding company would be the payee.
Yes, Your Honor.
So mag-i-issue siya ng cheque, money order check or bank transfer for 6 billion 72 million and 10,000 pesos payable to the holding company.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ang susunod kong tanong, yung bang binayad ni Chairman Defensor na 6 billion recorded sa books of accounts ng holding company?
It should be recorded, Your Honor.
It should be recorded.
Yes, sir.
Pero at the end of the year, yung 6 billion 72 million wala sa inyong balance sheet. Saan nagpunta?
Nandun po ho sa balance sheet ho yun. Noong 1999 ho.
Yes. Oh, I have a copy here. Para hindi ka na mahirapan. Oh, meron bang cash dyan?
It's there, Your Honor.
Oh, how much is the cash?
6 billion 72. 6 billion 72 million. Investment in ABS-CBN shares.
Oh nga, investment yan eh. Pero iba yung investment, iba yung cash. There is a change in the form of asset. Before, it was investment in ABS-CBN, ibinenta na yung shares of stocks, change in the asset, nawala na yung investment, naibenta na yung shares, there must be the corresponding cash.
Hindi ho binenta ng ABS Holdings yung shares. Ang binenta ko are the PDRs.
Kaya nga, babalik na naman tayo. PDR, binenta kay
Oho.
Vice Chairman Defensor.
Oho.
Sabi niya,
Hindi ho shares ang binenta.
ha? Hindi. Meron nga 1 share of stock eh. Oh. Nakalagay yan naman dito eh. Sabi niya, I will exercise the option price. So, 10 centavos, bibiling ko ang shares of stocks. Sino ngayon ang owner ng shares of stocks ng ABS-CBN Corporation?
Pag na-convert ho, it will be the PDR holder. Pag kinonvert niya ho.
So, si Mike Defensor.
But that was not what happened in 1999. Ho.
Hindi nga, pero ang sinasabi ko, nagbenta kayo eh. Inassume na lang natin na binigla na yung 132 million. O wag na 132 million. Binenta na lamang, ang binilang niya 1 million. Hindi nyo naibenta ang 131 million share. 1 million ang binigay, ang binenta, ang binili ni Mike Defensor. So ang total consideration, 46 million. Tama ba?
Hindi, ang binenta ho ng ABS Holdings are PDRs, not shares ho.
Oo nga, kaya ito, balik na naman tayo rito eh. Tagal na natin pinag-usapan to eh. The PDR forms part of an authorized issue of BDR, granting the holder, Mike Defensor, the right to delivery or sale of the shares of the shares at the exercise price as adjusted, which PDR has been issued, subject to and with the benefit of a PDR instrument dated October 5, 1999, executed by the issuer. The issuer is the holding company
Yes, Your Honor.
and are enforceable severally by each holder against the issuer. Mike Defensor holder against the issuer. Copies of the PDR instrument are available for inspection by the holders and may be deemed by them from the principal place of business of the issuer and the PDR register. The holder shall be deemed to have notice of the provision. Okay. The PDR, last paragraph, the PDR represented by this certificate does not represent shares of stocks, but only confers a right to the delivery or sale of existing shares of stock of ABS Broadcasting owned by the issuer, subject to the terms and conditions stated therein by PDR instrument. So pag nag-invest ba si Mike Defensor sa 1 million shares of stock, will he be considered the owner of the 1 million shares of stock underlying the 1 million PDRs?
Kung shares of stock ang i-invest na niya ho, he will be an investor in the shares. Pero kung PDRs ang investment niya, PDRs na kung kanyang...
Oo nga, pero the problem is that one, okay, kung PDR man, huwag ng shares of stocks. Sino ang tumanggap ng ng 46 million?
For the PDRs ho?
For the PDRs.
Ang ABS Holdings ang tumanggap.
The holding company. So ang assumption natin, yung holding company, tinanggap nila 46 million, there will be an entry in their books na meron silang hawak na 46 million. Tama po ba?
Pesos, yes ho.
O tama, okay. So, nagkaroon tayo ng hearing last time. Oh, is there anyone who wants to answer aside from Attorney Quezon?
Our accountant will be able to answer also. Ms. Kaimon.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ah,
Ms. Kaimon.
Your Honor, we ask that Lani Kaimol be recognized on Zoom.
Yes, our resource persons recognized.
Good afternoon, Your Honors. Tama po na may pumasok na yung transfer po ng ABS-CBN shares. Pumasok po siya sa ABS-CBN Holdings. Tinransfer po siya ng Lopez Inc. Ang kabangga po niyang account sa financial statement is a liability. But when we issued the PDRs and it was also sold to the market, the proceeds were used to pay for that liability. So at the end of the year po, ng 2009, wash out na po or zero na po yung liability. Ang naiwan na lang po is the investment in ABS-CBN Corporation and the PDRs under liability account.
okay. So just for the purposes of the record, ang total PDRs na inyong in-issue, based in our last hearing, is 298,827,100. Yun ang binigay na figure ni Attorney Quezon.
Okay po.
At sinabi niya, ang value is 46 pesos per PDR.
Yung initial issuance lang po ang 46. But Your Honor, yung initial issuance po na 132 million shares was at 46. But since it is
At 46, the 138 billion was
232 po million shares
82 million shares.
issued at 46 pesos per share. But since it is listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange, so the market fluctuates. So it's higher or lower than 46 yung mga subsequent issuances or exchanges of PDRs to common or common to PDRs.
So, madaling sabi, merong higher than 46, merong lower than 46. As
Yes, Your Honor.
51 ang highest at ang lowest ay 40. Based on your financial statements.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, in-average na lang natin ng 46.
Okay
So,
po.
madaling sabi, 46 times multiplied by 298,827,100,000 multiplied by the 46. On the average lang muna tayo. It will amount to 13,746,000,046,000. Ngayon, I'm giving you time. You look at the financial statements of the holding company at the end of every year from 1999 up to 2018. And what is the highest amount of cash reflected in your balance sheet? Babalik na kita mamaya. Para malaman natin kung saan pumupunta yung cash. Kasi lagi na lang walang cash. And I think you will confirm na nagsimula ang operation ng holding company in spite of this amount of billions of pesos, there is no income on the part of the holding company. Yes or no?
Wala po.
Wala. At sapagkat walang income, walang binabayad na tax ang holding company.
Wala po.
Wala po.
Dividend income lang po ang income ni ABS-CBN Holdings.
What?
The only income of ABS-CBN Holdings is the dividends received.
Based on your financial statements, wala
Yes.
kayong income at wala kayong tax na binabayad.
Yes, Your Honor. The only income or the cash that ABS-CBN Holdings receive is the dividends from ABS-CBN shares. That,
Tatanong na lamang sana kung pwede namang answerable by yes or no, pakisagot na lang ng yes. Don't
Yes
exaggerate
po.
anymore because we have limited time. Kaya
Apo, yes po.
walang income. Walang binabayad na income tax. Yes or no?
Wala po.
Although wala kayong income na binabayad, walang net income ang ABS-CBN, ang holding company, pero meron kayong net loss.
Opo.
Okay. So ito lamang ang kumpanya, may net loss, pero walang net income. Well, anyway, I have made a comparison of your financial statements which you have submitted. Pwede ba yung unang slide? The comparative figures of the balance sheet for the year ending December 31, 2000. Okay. So, ayan ang ating assets. Ang cash natin at December 31, meron na tayong 2,062,42. At the end of 1999, 10,000 pesos. O, saan ang galing yung cash na 2,042,000?
Galing po sa Your Honor, galing po sa dividends received from ABS-CBN for the shares that ABS-CBN Holdings own.
So, nagkaroon na ng stock dividend declaration noong year 2001.
Cash dividends po.
O nga, cash dividend. How many hundreds of millions?
I'll get back to you, sir, for the amount.
Okay. $106,354,153. Tama ba yun, Miss Accountant?
Apo, Your Honor, the dividend income that we received in 2000 is 108,679,903.
How much per share?
Dali lang po. So that's about 51 centavos per share po.
Okay, 51 centavos per share. Okay. Sa BIR naman, whenever there is a transfer of the share of stock from one corporation to another entity, are there taxes to be paid?
Dumadaan po siya sa Philippine Stock Exchange, so may transaction tax po siya.
Ha?
May transaction tax po siya.
May transaction tax.
Yes, Your Honor.
Transaction tax. May we ask the BIR?
Percentage lang po yan, percentage.
Ha?
Percentage, what is the transaction tax
We want to know,
percentage?
Mr. Chairman, from the BIR.
BIR?
Your Honor, may we ask that Attorney Benedict Togonon be recognized on Zoom?
Yes, that's fine, but I think the Honorable Barzaga would like to have the official statement from the BIR. So may we ask the BIR, how much is the transaction tax for the transfer of shares?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Your Honors, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. If the transaction was coursed through the Philippine Stock Exchange, the tax rate, generally speaking, the tax rate is 1/2 of 1%.
1/2 of 1%.
Yes, Your Honor.
Of the purchase price, Assistant.
Yes, Your Honor.
So kung ang purchase price is 46 billion, 1/2 of 1% would be approximately 2,300,000. Tama ba yun?
Around that figure, Your Honor.
Ha?
Around that figure, 1% divided by 2, Your Honor. 1/2 of 1%, Your Honor.
Okay, 1/2 of 1% of 46 billion.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the accountant of the holding company confirm the statement of our Honorable Assistant Commissioner?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Sino ang nagbabayad ng tax? Will it be ABS Holding Company or the PDR holder?
The investee po, which is the PDR holders po.
PDR holder. Are you sure about that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Documentary, wala na.
Nandun na po yun eh. Ang DST po binabayaran pag nag-issue po ng shares of stocks.
Documentary stamp tax, walang bayad.
Wala po.
Transfer of shares of stock.
Meron.
Kasi
Nandun, nandun po sa, lahat po ng tax is coursed through the stock exchange po.
Kaya ang tanong ko lamang, nagbabayad ba? O I'll refer the question to our very knowledgeable and authoritative Assistant Commissioner. Meron bang binabayad na documentary stamp tax sa transfer ng shares of stocks?
Yes, Your Honor. The moment a new share of stock is issued to the new shareholder, a documentary stamps or strip stamps that we call it must be paid.
Magkano naman, Assistant Commissioner?
At that time, Your Honor, it's 1 peso for every 200. But now, because of the train law, it is doubled. 2
Double.
pesos.
So we would like to look into that payment because the shares of stocks of ABS-CBN has been the subject of various transfers. Most especially, Attorney Quezon, alam naman natin na yung PDR holder ay merong opsyong bilhin ang shares of stock. Tama po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor.
That's right. And therefore, for that transaction, there should be the payment, tax payment for every transaction, not to mention na meron tayong documentary stamp tax which is equivalent to 10 centavos per
1 peso for every 200, Your Honor.
peso.
During the time.
And that would amount to 0.5 to 1 peso.
Yes, Your Honor. Approximately 1 peso. Yes, Your Honor.
Unless the transfer was made in Hong Kong where the BIR laws are not applicable.
Agree, Your Honor.
Oh, wala naman transfer siguro sa Hong Kong.
Wala akong
Ginawa kayo. All in the Philippines.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Would the BIR can present the records?
Your Honor, if the transaction was coursed through the Philippine Stock Exchange, we don't have a copy of that, Your Honor.
What about the holding company?
Mr. Chairman, we don't have the records as far back as
You don't
1999.
have a record.
The 1999 records, so wala na ho kaming records ng 1999.
And what is your earliest record? What year? Kung wala ng 1999.
I'd like to refer that to Ms. Kaimon.
ABS-CBN Holdings.
Your Honor, the available documents that we have is 2010 onwards po.
1,000
2010 po.
onwards.
Opo.
Because you are applying the 10-year prescriptive period.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the DST po kasi, the documents on that, sabi po ni Commissioner, is left with the Philippine Stock Exchange. So if you want to look at the records, it is kept in Philippine Stock Exchange po.
Yes, we know that. But the trouble is that, are you willing to waive your confidentiality? Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Hindi ba obligasyon ng isang malaking taxpayer na katulad nyo, as a matter of fact, awardly pa kayo eh. Hindi ba dapat na tinitingnan nyo whether the taxes due the government pertaining to the transfer of your shares of stock ay talagang hawak nyo? So you don't have any record? to confirm whether or not the transaction tax as well as the documentary stamp tax had been paid. Tama ba yun, Miss Accountant?
Opo.
Eh kung magre-review ang BIR ng inyong financial statements at hinanap sa inyo yung tax record ng transaction tax, di wala kayong maipapakita.
Prescribed na po kasi, so subject na siya.
Hindi nga 2010 upwards, kaya niyong...
Ay, okay po.
Okay,
Okay po.
how long? Gano'ng katagal?
Hahanapin po sa offsite, Your Honor.
Okay, let's go to the second slide. Balance sheet for the year 1999. Pakibaba ng konti para makita yung caption. Pwede bang pakilakihan? Okay, okay na yan siguro. Hindi lumalabas yung isang portion. At saka yung difference. Then we have the difference. Okay. Itong balance sheet, Miss Accountant, nagsabit kayo rito ng balance sheet as of December 31, 1999. At noong year 2000, nagsabit din kayo ng balance sheet comparative for the year 2000 and balance sheet December 31, 1999. Ang pinagtataka ko lamang sa aking examination ay bakit iba ang figures ng December 31, 1999 na inyong sinabit at iba ang figures ng balance sheet for December 31, 1999 na nasa inyong comparative statement. O katulad nung cash, pareho, 10,000. December 31, 1999. Pero pagdating na sa, anong second? Oh, I look over your financial statement, which you have submitted. Investment in ABS-CBN shares, 6,072,000,000, December 31. Pagdating na ng December ng inyong comparative statement, ng December 31, 1999, mukhang iba na ang figure. Naging 9,574,186,975. Iba na. Pero they refer to the same date and to the same account name. Pagdating ng Philippine Depository Receipts, 6,058,800,000, December 31, 1999. Sa comparative statement naman, December 31, 1999, 9,552,951. Kaya may discrepancy. Sa deferred income, 13,200,000, December 31, 1999. Doon naman sa comparative 1999, instead na 13,200,000, ang deferred income nyo ay naging 21,235,000. Due to affiliate, 1999, wala. Pagdating sa comparative, meron ng 21 million. Pagkatapos, ang total liabilities and stockholders' equity, 6,072,000,000, 10 pesos, 10,000 sa December 31, 1999. Pero sa comparative, ang nakalagay na ay 9,574,196,975. Eh, ang sabi nyo kanina, you attest to the truth and veracity of all the statements, financial statements na binigay nyo. Eh bakit magkaiba? ang balance sheet for December 31, 1999 based on the financial statements na sinabi nyo rito.
Your Honor,
Go ahead.
if you look at the financials in 2000 po, there were other expenses that were not booked and restated in 2000 financials. So if you look at the notes to FS in number 3 po, note number 3, the PDRs po, there are movements in the PDRs or issuance of PDRs of about 80 million shares in exchange for PDRs.
Simple lamang ang tanong ko. Meron kayong balance sheet na pinresent sa amin. Yung unang balance sheet, dated December 31, 1999. Binigyan nyo kami ng kopya rito. Pagkatapos ng year 2000, binigyan nyo kami ng balance sheet, and of course, meron na tayong comparative statement kasi noong 1999, noong lamang kayo nagsimula ng operation, we expect na walang comparative statement noong 1999 sapagkat wala pa kayong operation ng 1998. Normally, kaya nga nilagay ko yan sa ilalim. Wala na lang akong kopya kasi nagmamadali ako. Normally, since they have the same account name and they cover the balance sheet accounts for the same year, for the same date, December 31, 1999, dapat pareho. Eh bakit magkaiba? At kung sila ay magkaiba, one is not correct and the other one is correct. Or perhaps both of them are not correct. But definitely, hindi sila pwedeng pareho tama. Yun lamang ang tanong ko, bakit magkaiba?
Yun nga po. Based
Explanation nyo yan, dapat kung ano figure sa balance sheet, yun ang tama. Can you explain, Ms. Accountant?
Your Honor, the financial statement was subjected to audit. So there are expenses that were incurred, booked or recorded in 2000 that's supposed to be accrued in 2009. That's why
What method of accounting are you using? Are you using the cash accounting method or the accrual method?
accrual method po.
So in other words, the liability or the asset is reflected in the statement on the year where the income was earned although it was not realized. Tama ba o hindi?
Tama po.
O accrual. Sa cash naman, even if you incurred an expense, as long as you have not paid it, it will not be considered an expense and it will be considered as an expense only when payment has been made. Kung meron kang expense ng 1999, hindi mo binayaran ng 1999, binayaran mo ng 2001, after 2 years, na mo lamang i-consider yung expense. Tama, under the cash accounting. Pag accrual, income earned in 1999, although not earned, ay i-declare mo na sa 1999. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
What is your explanation?
Yun nga po. There are late charges that were given to ABS-CBN Holdings that pertains to 2009. That's why in 2010 financial statement,
2000 lang tayo tsaka 1999.
Opo. Kino-compare niyo po kasi yung 2009 sa 2000. So, noong 2000 po, ni-restate po yung balances as of December 2009 to 1999 to reflect all the expenses incurred in relation to the PDR issuance po.
Kakaintindihan naman tayo eh. Accountant ka naman eh. Eh ako, simple bookkeeping. Eh pag sinabi nating expenses, alam mo naman, it will not be reflected in the balance sheet. It will be reflected in the profit and loss statement. Tama ba yun?
Tama po. Pero tinignan nyo po, nandun po siya, yung liability is ni-recognize. That's why you have a due to.
Tinignan ko itong dokumento nyo eh, oh.
Yun
Ito
po yung due to.
Okay. Ito yung 1999 nyo. Malinaw ang nakalagay. Well, we can have a simple recess.
Mr.
If the
Chairman.
source persons of ABS-CBN cannot listen to our discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I be recognized? I think the explanation there is that the balance sheet was restated in 2000, and the 1999 the financial statements that were submitted were not.
Ito ang 1999.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh,
It was not audited, the 1999
ito.
balance sheet.
Balance sheet 1999.
Yes, that balance sheet was not audited.
What?
It was not audited. That was the first year that of operations of
Oo nga.
IBAN.
Ang tinanong ko nga kanina, yung ba mga dokumento nyo rito, authentic ba to? It is possible that this is authentic and true even if it is not audited.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bakit kayo magsasubmit sa amin ng hindi audited financial
But
statement?
the next year, it was audited and restated.
Pero ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, 6 billion investment pagkatapos hindi audited. Thus, the Bureau of Internal Revenue under the National Internal Revenue Code does not require if your total capital is 6,072,000, 72 million, 10,000 pesos, the balance sheet as well as the profit and loss statement should be audited. Oh,
Honorable Barzaga, would you like the BIR to respond?
ha?
BIR, you would like them to reply?
Yes.
Yes, BIR is recognized.
Bureau of Internal Revenue. Pag ang total assets ba at liability, ang total equity is 6,072 million, 10,000 pesos. Must the financial statements be audited or not?
It must be audited, Your Honor.
Or it must be audited. So
Your
my
Honor, yes.
question is, does the holding company have an audited financial statement for the year ending December 31, 1999? No. The holding company, the accountant.
ABS-CBN Holdings?
We don't have po.
You don't have. What about profit and loss statement? Did you prepare any profit and loss statement?
1 million lang po. 10 million, ano? 10 million lang yata, ano? Dapat may certificate ng auditor certificate.
Holding company.
Yes, Your Honor. It was submitted to BIR po.
Ah?
Sinabit po sa BIR.
Do you have a copy of that?
We look for the documents that has a stamp received by BIR po.
Pero ang problema natin, yun naman sinabit yung dokumento rito sa amin, nalito kami kahahanap sa USB, walang profit and loss statement for the 9-month period ending December 31, 1999. So if there is a profit and loss statement na pinail nyo sa Bureau of Internal Revenue, ang susunod kong tanong, bakit kami hindi binigyan ng kopya? Can you answer for that?
Yung 2009 po kasi,
2009, 1999 ang pinag-uusapan.
1999 po, sorry po. Yung 2009 po kasi is
Ano ba sa 2009?
interim financial po. So, subsequent to that, it's a full year that has to be audited. That's why the auditor found out that there are expenses that has to be accrued in 2009. That's why they restated the financial statements.
Simple lang ang tanong ko. Unang tanong, nag-file ba kayo ng balance sheet sa Bureau of Internal Revenue noong 1999? Ang sagot mo,
Opo.
hindi. Hindi. You answered no. That's why I asked, nag-file kayo, pero ang sagot ng inyong corporate secretary, it is not audited. Kaya ang tanong ko sa BIR, should it be audited? Ang sabi ng BIR, yes. Next question, nag-file ba kayo ng profit and loss statement sa Bureau of Internal Revenue for the year ending December 31, 1999? Yes or no?
We'll have to check po.
Kasi ang problema, nagbigay kayo ng balance sheet. Hirap na hirap kami sa hanap ng profit and loss. Hindi nyo naman binigay. Sa mga accountant naman, alam nila, basic financial statement, you just submit the balance sheet and profit and loss statement. And we're dealing with a very big corporation. Yun lamang ang aming rito. At the start of my interpellation, I requested you to look at the balance sheet of the holding company from 1999 up to the present. Sinabit nyo lahat yan. Tinignan mo na ba kung magkano ang pinakamataas na cash na nasa balance sheet ng holding company? Wala. Kung 100 milyon, kung 500 milyon, kung 1 bilyon. Wala.
Wala pong 100 million.
Walang.
The 2016 shows that the cash and cash equivalents of ABS-CBN Holdings or 2018 is 18,852,699.
In spite of the fact na PDRs ng isi-issue ng holding company would amount to billions of pesos. Kaya doon lamang kami nagtataka kung bakit ganoon ang cash position ng holding company. Well, I think I have to stop. Kasi Mr. Chairman, I requested also the BIR, si Assistant Commissioner, siguro kulang ang oras para isubmit sa amin. Number 1.
Honorable Barzaga, you still have 4 minutes.
Okay. So, balik naman tayo rito sa ano. Iwanan ko na muna in the meantime yung ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
the time of the gentleman Barzaga is very valuable, but we cannot let the incomplete answers of the accountant, who's making it difficult for this matter to be understood, stand in the way of the time of Mr. Barzaga. If they will only answer it clearly, then we can move on to the other topics, but we're being held back by answers which do not satisfy the Honorable Barzaga.
Yes, the Honorable Remulla. But at any rate, nag-request naman po si Mr. Barzaga to look into that, and I think it's incumbent upon this committee that we go back to the figures that were asked by the Honorable Barzaga.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, but if this will go on with the questions not being answered immediately by the other side, then we are letting them profit with their own misdeeds, if that is the case.
Honorable Remulla, I would understand the witness because the question was way back 1999. But I think the basic question of the Honorable Barzaga is basic. You have 6 billion, but you have 18 million. Yun lang po naman ang tanong ng Honorable Barzaga. Bakit po ganun? It may be 1999, it may be 2009, it may even be last year. Bakit itong shell company na napakalaking hinawakang pondo ay napakaliit ng cash at maliit ang binabayaran na buwis? Tama po ba, Honorable Barzaga?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So I would just request the accountant, number 1, did you actually file a balance sheet as well as profit and loss statement for the year 1999? If yes, could we have a copy? And second, were those documents filed in 1999 audited? And 3, if those documents were filed, what is the reason kung bakit hindi nyo kami binigyan ng kopya? And also, I am interested in the cash position. What is the cash position at the end of 1999 up to 2018 per year?
Okay po.
Okay? Kaya mo na yan, Ms. Accountant. So, I to ABS-CBN Corporation.
Honorable Barzaga, just in pursuit of the point of the Honorable Remulla, sino po ba ang, yung accountant po ba natin noong 1999, noong una itong sinimulan, nandun na po ba kayo? Wala.
Your Honor, I'm with ABS-CBN Holdings in 2000 po.
A year after. So, nandiyan na rin po kayo more or less. Opo. So, yun na lang po request ni Mr. Barzaga dahil may punto po si Honorable Rimulya. Ang akala ko po kasi, baka hindi niyo maalala dahil 1999, baka wala pa po kayo dito. In 2000 pa lang po pala, nandiyan na kayo.
Opo.
Honorable Rimulya?
Mr. Chairman, the ABS-CBN Corporation is asking for a renewal of their franchise, which means it is the right and duty of Congress to review their performance for the past 25 years. They should be able to answer all the questions about the past 25 years. This is unthinkable, Mr. Chairman, that they will make it a reason that they didn't keep the documents because they know they'll be going back to Congress to seek another franchise. If they don't want to answer the question, Mr. Chairman, then so be it. Let's make it an unanswered question which ABS-CBN refused to answer. Make it a question they refuse to answer, Mr. Chairman.
So noted, Honorable Rimulya. Honorable Barzaga, you may continue.
And last request to our accountant. Pwede sabihin the accountant of the holding company as early as 2000.
Alin po?
Yun lamang request ko kung ano ang record nyo ng payment ng transaction tax ng shares of stocks transfer together with the payment of documentary stamp tax. And I would be having a similar request to the Bureau of Internal Revenue for the last 10 years.
Okay po.
Assistant Commissioner, pwede ba? Where is our Assistant Commissioner?
Assistant Commissioner Mapo is recognized.
Move to suspend, Mr. Chairman.
Session suspended.
Siguro na magre-raise na ako ng...
Ingat mo muna.
Session resume. Honorable Barzaga.
Assistant Commissioner, magre-request lamang ako kung anong record ang available sa inyo evidencing the tax on the transaction regarding the transfer or sale of shares of stocks ng ABS-CBN Corporation, ng ABS Holding Company, at saka yung documentary stamp tax, even for the last 10 years, kung ano ang available.
Mr. Chair and honorable members, good afternoon again. If we will be referring to ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation, again, with all due respect, Mr. Chair, we will be needing a waiver coming from the taxpayer. Because the waiver executed by Mr. Katigbak yesterday was for ABS-CBN Corporation.
So, we would request the ABS-CBN Holding Company to inform this House the listing of the taxpayer of the owners of the shares of stocks of ABS-CBN based on the record so that we can ask for their conformity in order not to violate the confidentiality of the tax records of a taxpayer which is guaranteed under the National Internal Revenue Code. Section what, Assistant Commissioner?
Section 270, Your Honor.
273.
270, Your Honor.
270, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Assistant Commissioner,
Honorable Barzaga, para papatuloy, nagsalita na naman po yung ABS-CBN Holdings kanina, but may we get the official response of the ABS-CBN Holdings as regards the requirement of the BIR. Kailangan lang po nila yung authorization para maibigay nila yung dokumento na hiningi ng Honorable Barzaga.
Mr. Chairman, we can provide that authorization.
Maraming po salamat. If the letter can be kindly be sent to this committee para po ibigay natin sa BIR at nang ganun po naman ang BIR naman mapadala ang dokumento dito. Maraming po salamat. Thank you.
Assistant Commissioner, we realized that we have already a very tight schedule last night.
Yes, sir.
Nag-request ko last night kung pwede sanang maibigay sa amin yung corresponding tax payment ng ABS-CBN Corporation for the last 3 years at ihiwalay natin yung withholding as well as the value added tax. Unfortunately, up to now, hindi pa natatanggap ng ating COMSEC. May we know what is the update on this, Assistant Commissioner?
Nakamute po. Assistant Commissioner Mapoy, nakamute po.
Unmute. Ayan. Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair, the records that you requested yesterday were emailed to the COMSEC before noon today.
Just verification. Natanggap ba ng ating committee?
COMSEC, kindly reply. The emails of the BIR as regards the expanded value-added tax, withholding taxes, final withholding tax, real estate tax, all other components of the total tax paid by ABS-CBN. Tama po ba?
Well, yes, unfortunately, siguro medyo nabigla ang ating COMSEC nang hinihingi ko kanina. Ang sagot niya, wala pa raw.
Wala pa up to now.
Meron na?
Wala pa daw.
Wala pa raw, Assistant Commissioner. Magkalapit lamang tayo.
We sent that, Your Honor. We sent, Your Honor. And if you want, we can have it presented. We can have it shared. But we sent the documents that you requested, Your Honor.
Sino kaya ang tumanggap based on your records? Baka ibang committee.
1:47 p.m. to House Committee on Legislative Franchise.
So 147.
Yes, 1:47. I'm sorry, after lunch, Your Honor.
So just to clarify, yung ating BAT, ang sinasabi ng iba kong nakakausap, yung mga pati na ng ibang channel, pag binabayaran sila, tanggal na ang BAT. Tama po ba?
ABS-CBN?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And aside from BAT, sa mga artista, ano pa ang tinatanggal nyo?
Mayroon pong expanded withholding tax po.
And how much is that?
That is either 10% po or 15%. Depende po sa income.
So, sa madaling sabi, 10% BAT at saka 15% expanded withholding tax.
To correct lang po, in most cases, it's 12% VAT and 10%
Withholding sa ba?
10% expanded withholding.
The professional sa mga entertainers.
10%
10 and 15.
po. Depende po sa income bracket.
Hindi, maximum.
Maximum po is
Ito ang
50.
paboritong star ni Deputy Speaker Marcoleta, si Coco Martin.
Balik.
Ang bayad ng ABS-CBN, 10 million for 1 year. Example lang to, masyadong mababayan.
15% po yung maximum. Pag
15%.
Apo.
Representing,
Expanded withholding tax po.
what about the VAT?
12% po yung VAT.
So, bali, theoretically, 12 plus 25, that would, 12 plus 15, 27%.
12 plus 15 po, 27%.
27%, that is the, sa madaling sabi, yung wini-withhold nyo is part of the compensation of the actors or actresses of the ABS-CBN.
Yun pong, opo,
Okay.
yung VAT po, if I ano lang po, kung pwede lang po, yung
Yes.
VAT po is input tax naman po ng ABS-CBN. Yun naman pong expanded withholding tax, yun po yung sinabi nyo kahapon.
Sinabi natin input tax ng ABS-CBN. Kaya ako, hindi ko rin kabisado yun. Ano ba ibig sabihin nating input tax ng ABS-CBN?
Ang ABS-CBN po, pag nagbabayad po ng services at saka ng goods, yung binabayad po nila, mayroon po siyang nakukuha na, may binabayad po siyang value-added tax. Pag palabas po, input tax po yon na pwede po naming i-offset against our value-added tax na output tax naman po. So may input-output mechanism po siya.
Oo nga, we know that. Pero ang sinasabi nating output tax ay yung sa mga stars.
Yun pong output tax naman po ay yung pagbenta namin ng aming mga produkto at services.
Produkto nyo. Pero balik lang muna tayo sa mga artista, don't complicate.
Sige po.
So, 12%
Opo.
plus 15. Yung 12% VAT, what do you consider that? Input or output?
Input po.
Input. So, in reality, chargeable yan sa mga artista.
In reality, kasama po siya sa binabayad namin sa artista.
O nga, pero binabawas nyo.
Actually po,
Hinahawakan nyo lamang.
actually hindi po. Binabayad po namin sa kanya. Hindi po namin hinahawakan.
Hindi kayo nag-withheld ng VAT?
Ang VAT po, hindi po nag-withhold eh.
Hindi kayo
po ang,
nag-withhold?
opo, sila po ang dapat mag-declare ng babayaran
So,
nila po.
ano yung VAT na inyong wini-withhold?
Honorable Barzaga, if I may just give you 1 minute, we were already reminded by the chair.
So, we will just request the ABS-CBN to make a presentation or a position paper regarding the VAT.
Opo, sige
Okay.
po.
Next question. I was able to read for a while the case of Quezon City and City Treasurer of Quezon City. Courtesy of Attorney.
Visera, Your Honor.
Okay. Binasa ko yung asunto rito. Dito pala, ang Quezon City, merong city ordinance requiring the payment of the franchise. Ang ABS-CBN, ang sabi nila, well, under the franchise, hindi na kami liable magbayad ng franchise tax. Pero ang nangyari, based on the decision of the Supreme Court, nanalo ang ABS-CBN sa RTC, nanalo ang ABS-CBN sa Court of Appeals, pagdating sa Supreme Court, reverse ang decision, and the decision was penned by the late Justice Ruben Reyes, na ang sabi nila, the city government of Quezon City has the right to collect the taxes. Tama ba yun?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Sa ngayon, nagbabayad pa ba kayo sa taxes sa Quezon City based on that ruling and based on the city ordinance of Quezon City?
If I may answer po, kasi po ako po yung
Yes.
nagbabayad. Ang binabayaran po namin ay local franchise tax in lieu of the local business tax po. It is, nagbabayad po kami.
Simple lang
madaling
tayo.
sabi po.
Ang issue roon, the local franchise tax based on the city ordinance of Quezon City. Okay. Kaya ang tanong ko lamang ngayon, kayo ba ay nagbabayad ng local franchise tax based on the city ordinance and also based on the decision of the Supreme Court? As simple as that.
Nagbabayad po kami.
Nagbabayad kayo.
Opo.
So, thank you very much because the chairman might run for mayor and he knows already what taxes ABS-CBN would be paying.
Thank you, Honorable Barzaga. Kanina mo pa kami tinuturo ni Honorable Marcoleta. Pero ang katanungan ko po, gusto niyo po bang makita yung mga VAT sa mga artista o individual na mga artista o wag na po?
Wag na. Baka
Wag na
malaman natin na masyadong mataas ang kanilang binabayad. But that is part of the expenses of ABS-CBN. As a matter of fact, that is a major component of their cost of sales or cost of good, right?
Opo.
Okay.
At kasama na rin po yung pagbayad ng buwis. Malaki rin po ang bayad na buwis dahil doon. Baka po pag nakita nyo, ay magsisi kayo na kayo nag-abuga siya kaysa kayo
That
po ay
will be good
nag-artista.
for the Bureau of Internal Revenue because as I have stated, taxes are the lifeblood of the government. Yon ang buwis, ang buhay at dugo ng bawat pamahalaan. Well, anyway, I'll not go in detail about that issue. So yun lang nire-request ko sa ating accountant.
Thank you for the very informative interpolation of the Honorable Barzaga, a CPA lawyer. I now go back to our chair, Honorable Alvarez.
Maraming salamat, Kong Mike, Congressman Barzaga. Next po na magtatanong ay si Congressman Rolando Valeriano. Kong Valeriano.